We've been talking about doing this for a while, and today is the day. We are going to compare the Audioscape EQP-A to original Pultec EQP-1A from the 50s. Now, the difference, I can tell you right now, just aesthetically, is the original, the touch and the feel is just, the knobs have a chunkier feel to them when you click them over. The color, personally, I think the color is amazing on the original one, where to me, this color blue, it's not that it's bad, and it's nice, the way it's painted is nice and everything, but the original just has like a overall aura to the look of it that I prefer, for sure. Where this looks, the Audioscape, to me, looks more generic. It just, they're making them, they're selling them for around $1,100, $1,000, and they're great for the money. I love my Audioscape gear. But just overall aesthetically, I prefer the original one from the 50s and the feel of the knobs. When I click the frequencies, and these are nice pots that they're using on the Audioscape. It's like a little tick, little tick. When you click the original, it's like a chunk into place. And I've had a lot of clones and a lot of original gear from the 70s, and back then the way they made stuff, to me, it was just better. They used better components, and it sounds great too. So here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna give you an up close look at both. Here is the Audioscape EQP-A. And here is the original Pultec EQP-1A from the 50s. Again, let's hear the click over. And it doesn't feel bad on the Audioscape. The knobs feel real good. But when you go to the original, it just, I feel more resistance, like just quality. All right. Enough about that. Now we are going to hear it. And just so you know, this is how we are hearing it. I'm going to go over this real quick. Coming out of Pro Tools, I have a vocal. That vocal is coming through to channel 24 on this 428 console, beautiful 428 from 1975. And it is patched in line. I have the Audioscape patched in. We're going to hear that one first, and then we're going to hear this original Pultec. So let me put you on here. And of course, I am capturing the audio with this Tascam DA3000. This is an awesome piece. I just got it specifically for capturing and doing videos like this. So it's a great, honest piece. When I say that, it does not color the sound. Like when I print off my board back into the burls, it colors the sound. You're hitting transformers and stuff like that. This thing, you're recording HD audio, and it's clean. So it's good for testing things. Keep in mind when you're hearing both of these EQs that you are hearing the transformers of the board and it going through a board. And if you know from my 428 at home, 428 consoles have a very thick, heavy-handed sound. That's what I like about them. They're very colored sounding. But that doesn't, it all stays equal. It's a even playing field, a fair playing field, because it's going through the same channel for both Pultecs. Now, right now I have the Audioscape patched in to channel 24, and we're going to hear this vocal. So let's do that. It's in the out position, just running through the circuitry. Here we go.
You keep a light on still till you find your confidence lost on a wheel till you break, and I'm back.
And now I'm going to engage the EQ.
You didn't cry, you couldn't scream, you prayed the bones around you leave until you find your confidence. Lost until you find your confidence. Lost on a wheel till you break, and I'm back. You didn't hide, but you couldn't see. The gates were wide, but you couldn't leave until you find your confidence.
Okay, that's the Audioscape EQP-A. Now we're going to hear the exact same thing through the original. First we're going to hear it just go through the circuit. Let me patch that in. And then I will engage it. So, here we go. The original Pultec.
You keep a light on still till you find your confidence. Lost on a wheel till you break, and I'm back.
Engage EQ.
You didn't cry, you couldn't scream, you prayed the bones around you leave until you find your confidence. Lost until you find your confidence. Lost on a wheel till you break, and I'm back. You didn't hide, but you couldn't see. The gates were wide, but you couldn't leave until you find your confidence.
I hear a difference, and I'm sure you can too. You can make your own decision on which one you like better and which one would be worth it to you based off the price. Okay, so now we're going to hear the difference between an Audioscape 76F and an original YURI FREV 1176.
You keep a light on still till you find your confidence. Lost on a wheel till you break, and I'm back. You didn't cry, you couldn't scream, you prayed the bones around you leave until you find your confidence.
All right, so that was the Audioscape 76F, and I'm now going to patch in the YURI Vintage Original FREV 1176. And just so you know, I have dialed them in to where the settings are exact level, exact compression, everything. So this is the original Universal Audio YURI 1176 from the 70s.
You keep a light on still till you find your confidence. Lost on a wheel till you break, and I'm back. You didn't cry, you couldn't scream, you prayed the bones around you leave until you find your confidence.
Now, I definitely heard a difference. It isn't a huge difference. They're closer than what I thought I heard on the actual Pultec EQ. All right, this is going to be the last test that we do. I am going to compare the signal chain of the Audioscape to the original vintage. So we are going into the Audioscape FREV 1176, out of there into the Audioscape EQP-A. So we're basically going into 1176, coming out of 1176, going into a Pultec, into the recorder. Now, then we're going to do the vintage chain. We're going to go take the signal chain, the vocal, going into a YURI 1176 FREV, into a vintage Pultec from the 50s, and we're going to compare the two. So the first one you're going to hear, and they are set the same. The first one you're going to hear is the Audioscape. So here it is.
You keep a light on still till you find your confidence. Lost on a wheel till you break, and I'm back. You didn't cry, you couldn't scream, you prayed the bones around you leave until you find your confidence.
Okay, now I'm going to patch in the original 1176 YURI FREV and Pultec. And now we're going to hear the signal chain of a vintage 1176 FREV and a 1950s Pultec EQP-A.
You keep a light on still till you find your confidence. Lost on a wheel till you break, and I'm back. You didn't cry, you couldn't scream, you prayed the bones around you leave until you find your confidence.
All right, so this is my final thoughts on the whole clone versus originals. If you want an original, get an original, because there's never going to be any question of, does it sound as good? Is it worth it? Hell yeah, they're worth it. They're awesome. These original classics, whether it be a Pultec, an 1176, a 1073, a 1066, 1064s, nothing beats an original. I've had many opportunities to sit with a clone, whether it be my clone or someone else's, next to an original, and every time I could tell you that the original had something better about it. How much better? Might be 5%, might be 3%, 8%, might be 20%. It just depends on how well the clone is made. With that being said, is it worth thousands of dollars more when you could basically achieve the same thing you're going for with a clone. No, it's not. When it came, I own a lot of vintage 1073s, 312s, 1060, vintage knees, vintage pieces. I bought those at a time where they weren't asking crazy money like they are now. All right. And now they're asking crazy money for ones that aren't even kosher. They're like an odds module built into a 1073. No way, man. That is not worth it. I'd rather have a pair of BAEs any day over some non kosher 1073 that some guys Frankenstein together. All right. But by the time I got to wanting a pair of 1176s, they have gotten so expensive that I was like, no, I need to start. I don't want to spend that much money on a pair of compressors. So my friend Malcolm told me about the 76Fs, or the Audioscape. He's like, oh, you should check these out. Because I was originally going to go through the whole STAM audio thing, and I read so many horror stories about waiting months. I don't have the patience for that. I'm working with bands now. I'm not going to wait 2 months, 3 months. I've heard even up to 8 months for a piece of gear to come from Brazil. No way. That makes me furious, and it's disgusting that someone would run their business like that. Hopefully it's gotten better. So anyway, he told me about the Audioscape. I looked him up, and I'm like, oh, this is like what I want. This is exactly what I want. I want a pair of 1176s for that price, for around $1,000 a piece, not $4,000 to $5,000 a piece that the originals are going for. So I got them, and immediately when I heard them, I was like, man, this is awesome. These Audioscapes are like amazing. They remind me of the original F-Revs that I've used many times. So I loved my 76Fs, and then I went and bought a pair of their Pultecs, and those again, boom. Now I wasn't familiar with Pultecs, like, so I didn't know if it was better or even closer. I just didn't know. But with that being said, I was happy with what they did. They did what I wanted them to do. They did that thing that I read about. They did that thing that I heard on albums. So I'm very happy with my Audioscape gear, and I just got to the point where I'm not spending thousands of dollars on an EQ or a compressor anymore. Multiple thousands. I'm just not going to do it. I'm not in that mode like I used to be. And even like I said, when I bought my vintage Neems and all that, and my Kel-Rex and my Telefunkins, man, I got those Telefunkins right there. What they're going for now, I got those for 1/5 of the price that they're going for now, and that goes for my 312s and my 1066s and vintage Neems. I got them for what they're asking now. No way, I wouldn't have done it, because I know I could achieve the goal without it, because it's not the gear. Good gear is important. I'm a strong believer of that. Good gear is important, but ultimately, as long as you have decent gear, it's your ears and how you massage it into the mix, or how you record it, and your technique that's going to make it good or not. That's going to, the overall end, the be all is what's coming out of the good old left and right. And that, what determines that is your skill set and how good you are at recording, mixing, getting your phase right, miking up drums and making sure there's no weird phase and stuff like that. So that's what's going to determine if you got a good mix or a good end result, your album sounding good. It's not the gear. Gear helps though. Good gear helps. So overall, I do not regret, and I am extremely pleased with my Audioscape gear. And I will be picking up a few more pieces just because I feel the urge to get another pair of 1176s. And another pair of F-Revs would be great for me at this point. So that's my overall thoughts on it. If you want an original and you're gung-ho, go for an original, because you're never going to be happy, and you're always going to be wondering, is it as good, this, that, and that. Go for an original. If you could afford it, and that's the mindset you're in. But if you are like me and you're dealing with bands that are sitting in on mixes, and you're recording bands, and you just want to get stuff done, you're working and you want to get the tool that does the job, these are it. these Audioscape 1176s are awesome. I never question them. They work. They're on my main lead vocals, all right, for a whole album. The whole last album I mixed, they're on my lead vocals. They're on my bass guitars. They're the main pieces that I use. I think, oh man, what am I going to throw my 1176s on? I need 6 more, you know. So I love them. I do. But there's nothing wrong with owning a good old classic, because nothing gets better than that, right? All right, well, I appreciate you guys watching my videos, liking, subscribing. If you haven't, hit the subscribe button, because I'm going to be posting more videos. I got a lot of stuff going on. Thanks for watching.
You keep a light on still till you find your confidence. Lost on a wheel till you break, and I'm back. You keep a light on still till you find your confidence. Lost on a wheel till you break, and I'm back.